is. And sometimes even Merle doesn't like that, but I think it's his pride and his knowledge of who he is that won't let him go back.
Well, and they also they lampshaded at least that part where Rick said, "Do you even know why you do the things you do?" And he said, "No, I'm a mystery even to me."
Yeah.
I think you're right on that analysis.
He doesn't want to be that, but he is for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
So we go back to Michonne after she got out of the car and ran off, and Daryl catches up with her and asks where his brother is, and she says that he let her go, and Daryl runs off after him. He wanted to know if she killed him, first off, which
also,
is an apt question.
Michonne was, like, putting these zombie heads out of their misery. I'm wondering if it wouldn't be smarter to leave those heads alone, kind of like face up like landmines.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Has anyone ever done that in zombie lore? Because it seems like you could set some crazy-ass traps involving living walker heads, where they least expect it.
The screamer pits would take on a whole other meaning if it was just lined with heads on the bottom.
Severed heads
yeah,
that you push people into. Oh,
how
God.
fucked up would that be?
It'd
Amazing.
be pretty fucked up. It'd be like that scene in one of the Saws where the chick got pushed into the pit of hypodermic needles, kind of fucked up. Yeah.
Ugh. Horrific.
Ugh.
Okay, moving on.
I just grossed myself out of my own podcast. Awesome.
Now we come to one of my favorite scenes in this episode, where Merle's just sitting in his car, boozing it up, listening to the radio while the walkers swarm around the car, and then he kind of slowly drives off. I was like, as soon as he started driving away, I was like, "Oh, you missed the handle. Come on, get in, guys. Oh, you missed again."
Right.
The classic high school parking lot prank.
Were you at all worried that he was trying to off himself at that point?
Yeah, I was. But on second watch, I noticed that this is kind of a really dark scene. I mean, it's kind of played almost for comedy, like borderline, because you got Merle
comedy,
here feeding the zombie booze, and he's just cranking his music, and you think, oh, yeah, good time. But, man, this is dark. This is a guy who, coming off of that last scene, and says, I can't go back.
He knows he's dead.
He knows he's dead, but it's not just that he's resigned to his fate. It's resigned to a fate that he's creating for himself at this very moment.
Yes.
He doesn't have to do any of this stuff, but he does it because he is who he is.
You're right.
And that's the part that really makes this scene for me. I love it.
Yeah. You're on fire, Jim. More solid analysis.
Merle gets back to the meeting location where Rick is supposed to be, I guess, very, very, very soon, right? Because everybody's already there.
Yep.
He rolls up the car to the governor's ambush party and jumps out. Music's still blaring. While the zombies attack, he picks off all of the unimportant characters, and in the process, he gets bit by a walker.
Yeah, when I realized what he was doing, I'm like, oh, this is fucking smart. He's picking off the governor's team of badasses.
Yeah.
But each death that he is bringing tilts the scales more evenly in Rick's favor.
Yeah, hell of a move.
Because
he's picking off people who don't matter to the story, right? He's not picking off Martinez. They don't let him shoot the governor.
Although arguably Martinez could have died too, because if he makes it out of this season alive, I'll be as shocked as anything.
He might convert.
Maybe. As long as Poindexter dies. But no, it's like I just thought this was really, really smart, and to start the gunfire because he knew knew these guys would.
Yep.
And they were not going to hear his gunfire and all the confusion is just brilliant. Like, who knew Merle had it in him? And I didn't understand this plot until it was all coming together, and then it seemed obvious in hindsight. So, again, whoever came up with that scheme in the writer's room, hats off to you.
Definitely. And we get a call back to earlier in the episode with his fingers being bitten off. Mm-hmm. When he first got bit, I was like, oh, shit, there goes Merle. That's how it happens. Mm-hmm. I was not expecting the governor to grab him and beat him and shoot him after that.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense. Good fight there, too.
What was the governor's plan?
Oh, he was obviously just going to ambush Rick and company when they rolled up.
No, but why did he kill Merle, leave him the turn, to send a message? I think we're a little bit beyond the mess. That's the part of the episode that doesn't sit quite well with me. I mean, what was the point of this? Why wouldn't he, first of all, why wouldn't he suspect that Rick this is his plan all along? So why wouldn't he immediately go to the prison? I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what's going to happen. But I just thought it's weird that, he stayed there and was immediately left. So Daryl, who couldn't have been more than hour behind him, got there just in time to see Michael Rooker given some of the best zombie we've ever said. As I said on Facebook, Rooker gives really good Zed.
Yeah, he does.
Really good.
To talk to your point, I think the governor shot Merle and just left him there because that was a fate worse than death for Merle. Like, he's not about killing people. He's about torturing people and hurting people in more than just the physical ways.
I just feel like the governor would have still, knowing him as we know him, would have brought Merle back and worked him over a bit. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. But apparently he didn't. Even though Merle tried to go Vader on his ass and toss him into a pit with lightning shooting out of his hands.
Yeah.
So, yes, very Anakin-like arc there. Glenn gives Maggie the Walker ring, and she says yes.
Lamest proposal of all time. He did not drop the one knee.
Nope.
I mean, I'm a fucking asshole. Even I know the niceties. I know the rituals that have to be observed, and I just
this is the zombie apocalypse, man.
I don't care.
That's
I
out
can't
the window.
respect a man that doesn't know that. I mean, they could still be a nice man, but it's kind of like when I see a guy wearing sweatpants out. He could be a perfectly nice man.
Yeah.
But they're still a goddamn fool because they're wearing sweatpants out in public. I just can't respect you. I might like you, but I'll never be able to respect you because you're wearing sweatpants.
Well, if you've seen the preview for next week, you know that there's a scene in there where Herschel actually comes back to Glenn and says, "I'm sorry, after that proposal, I can't let you do it."
You didn't even get the one knee. It's like, how if Glenn is savvy enough to ask the old man for the nod and the blessing, he's not savvy, and he gets the ring. I just felt like, I don't know, man. I needed to see the one knee. Yeah.
Or at least somewhat of a speech, a word. A word would have been good.
This scene got incredibly short shrift for how important it seems relatively for the show's future.
And it felt really weird coming off of that last scene where you've got fingers being bitten off and you've got the governor shooting people and zombies attacking, and then bam, you're right to this what's supposed to be a romantic scene.
I do hope he soaked that ring in hydrogen peroxide for a minute or two.
No, there's no amount of washing that helps that. Like, you cannot make that right. There's an episode of Scrubs where Turk takes a pin from the ass box, which is like the box where they put all the stuff that comes out of people's asses.
Yeah.
And he gives it to his girlfriend, Carla, and they call it an ass pin. And that's exactly what it reminded me of.
All right. Fair
disgusting
point.
Anyway, Rick recaps the episode to the rest of the group and apologizes for it, and then puts the decision to stay or go on the group. So at this point, am I to believe that we're going to now have a vote on whether they stay or leave?
No.
Is there even going to be a war?
Maybe. But I bet everybody votes to stay. I actually like the speech. I like the fact that we're going away from the dictatorship, that Rick abdicated. I like that, I've always been trying to do things for the greater good, but now I realize that we are the greater good, which is another good mission statement for the rest of the show. Really liked this scene. Really, really liked it.
Strong. Rick's speeches are normally a little more comical than this one. But this came across pretty strong.
I got a private little chuckle when he saw Michonne coming through the scope. My first thought was, "Oh my God, Lori has turned black."
First thought was the governor's going to jump up and grab
Spawn. What?
My first thought was the governor's going to jump up out of the woods and grab her, like he did Andrea. It's like,
he's just always waiting out in the weeds there. Which, by the way, that plot line has completely gone away. The fact that the governor's got someone out there watching him.
Yeah. And I keep thinking they're walking right in the open. There could be a sniper out there. If they had a gun pointed at him, they could just pick him off.
Yeah.
Silly. If I were the governor, I would have people waiting there containing them in that prison, not letting them prepare.
Merle was absolutely right. You could just starve them out.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got covered. They don't. They either have to stay in there and die, or they can come out and be murdered.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so we'll skip that scene where he goes up and spots Michonne because we talked about it. We'll go right to Daryl arriving at the ambush location and finding his brother zombified, Walker City. He's reluctant to kill him, but he finally does.
I really liked how Daryl almost treated the zombie Merle as if his brother had suddenly was turning against him, and it's like that's the way you treat your brother if he's just being an asshole to you.
Yeah,
and like like all of a sudden I felt like Daryl was 7 years old, trying to fight off his older brother, kicking his ass for some imagined wrong, and again Norman Reedus getting the pathos channeled is just really very strong scene. I'll
say it was a great scene, but it was hard for me to concentrate on how great it was because right at the beginning, when he starts crying, I couldn't help but see John Hamm in his Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's not the strongest crier in the world.
Yeah, man. It was like, I don't know. He just cried really ugly.
Yeah. Ugly crier.
But yeah, it was still, all in all, a powerful scene. And that's it. They go out on that note.
Wow.
And I'm giving Zombie Kill of the Week to Daryl killing Merle. The way he did that, I mean, it was a lot like we saw Rick stabbing that zombie with that ate Lori, or that we thought ate Lori.
And the effects work was really good as like Michael Rooker's, I guess, life-modeled cast slowly just disintegrated under Daryl's savage knife work.
Yeah, that was disgusting and beautiful at the same time because I'd love to see that effects work happen.
The emotional zombie kills are always the best in the show.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's it. Idiot Survivor of the Week is Rick. Zombie Kill of the Week is Daryl killing Merle. Do you want to do some pimping?
Yeah, it's going to be a short pimping because I'm actually on the road this week broadcasting live from Horse Cave, Kentucky.
Horse Cave?
Yeah, it's my boys' spring break, and we are taking a tour of the caves of Kentucky. It's pretty badass.
They're amazing.
Oh, Mammoth Cave. If you live within 500-mile radius of Mammoth Cave and you haven't been there, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go. It is awesome in the truest sense of the word. Yep. We are part of the Bald Move Network. You can find all of our content at baldmove.com, including full coverage of The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, the latest seasons of Mad Men, and Breaking Bad. Don't forget our affiliates, the Personal Arrogance crew out of Seattle. They bring the funny and the beer. And also our affiliates, the Because Show out of L.A. These women bring the funny and the makeup recommendations and book reviews. I need to just throw the Downton Abbey crew, Kelly and Tom, up in our regular TV coverage. I think I'm going to start doing that. Tom and Kelly's new show, they cover Downton Abbey. If you like that stuff, check it out. They're in their hiatus mode, so they're going to be releasing a show every 2 weeks over some kind of Edwardian era entertainment, and I'm curious to see what they end up doing. If you'd like to support our cast, there's two main ways you can do so. Number one, rate and review us on iTunes. If you haven't yet, it's the single biggest thing that drives traffic to our cast and helps us scrabble to the heap of the zombie pile that is the iTunes rankings. We appreciate each and every one of you that does that. We read all the reviews, too. The ones that hurt our feelings and the ones that make us feel good. So we appreciate that. And also, if you'd like to monetarily help our cast, you can do so by using our Amazon affiliate link at amazon.baldmove.com or click the banner at the top of our site. That gives us a little tiny profit from the things you buy through Amazon, and it costs you nothing. It's a win-win scenario. And now we're ready for feedback.
Okay, let's do it. Because we have a hopefully short episode this week, I had to make some brutal cuts, so I apologize to anybody who didn't get included and probably normally would have. But we'll start off with Emma, who says, "Hey guys, just writing in because I can't get over the moaning zombie head in the field. How is it making noise? It doesn't have any lungs. There's no way air can pass through its vocal cords. Am I wrong about this?" Yeah, I think the one thing you're not keeping in mind, Emma, is that this show doesn't follow zombie noise rules.
No. It's because fuck you. That's why. That's what the show says to us. Anytime you ask us any kind of zombie physiology questions, it's like you're questioning zombie physics. Fuck you.
Yeah, but no, you're totally right. Ushin says, "Yeah, this episode was one of the best in the whole season. Great scenes, great acting. I really liked how the character development with Merle was handled. It didn't seem forced like it did with Axel and T-Dog. Wait, T-Dog had character development?
Yeah, right."
Maybe
episodes after he died, people recounting stories. So yeah.
He says, Michael Rooker is such a good actor. I know I keep saying it, but every scene is so good. The way he tried to do a little good before he died was awesome. S-Dub says, I had a nightmare last night that they didn't kill the governor in the season finale. Could they stretch this already thin plotline further? Is that why they fired Mazera? If that happens, I'm done. I'm with you.
You know, I actually got a little afraid because when you think of everything that they've got, like, so if they're going to terminate this storyline, all the mechanics that have to happen in the next episode, I'm actually sort of afraid they're going to try to extend this plot line the next season. That is a bad idea.
That's a terrible idea. I don't
think it's worth dwelling on it, such a bad idea, until it happens, and then we'll just pillory it.
Okay. Stopper writes in, says, zombie apocalypse going on for over a year, and the car battery still works perfectly fine.
And also, by the way, who the fuck puts a car alarm on a shitty late 70s, early 80s Caprice?
It was pimped out, man. It had rims.
No.
Did you see? Oh, yeah, it did. It definitely did.
Maybe in some scenes, because I actually thought, it's like, well, maybe it did. Maybe it's some idiot that's pimped it out. And it had, like, kind of shitty spoke. I mean, not even like the gold Daytons, just kind of like stock rims on it. I don't know. I thought that was one of the more unbelievable things I've seen.
Wow.
Someone put an alarm on a hoopty.
Okay. He says, other than that, it was a really good episode. I feel like this season, this half season started off flat, but it's been picking back up the last few episodes. Excited for the finale next week. Me too. Definitely.
It's definitely the way they've structured it. So...
York writes in, well, my favorite character is no longer with us. Merle has a change of heart and sacrifices himself for the good of the group. Who could have possibly seen that coming? And he says the previous statement is intended to be read in a sarcastic fashion. I did. He sure went out like a badass, and he took out Asthma Boy. Who is Asthma Boy?
Oh, was that the teenager that his mom didn't want to
who
serve?
tried to get out of it by saying I had asthma.
Yeah.
Yep. He says, does the governor have any quality goons left? I thought this was a pretty quality episode. 8 out of 10. Oh, fuck. I forgot about Ghost Lori. Let's knock that down to a 5. I thought they used Ghost Lori very effectively this time.
Much more effectively than they actually use SWC in life.
Definitely. Noel W. says, just rewatching Prey, and Martinez calls the other guy that's always with him Shump. And I went back and I watched this, and the guy's name is Shump.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's weird.
Wow.
Anyway, that's all she's got to say.
He sounds like the fifth unknown Three Stooges, you know?
Yeah. Ben writes in Bill Simmons' recap of this week's episode, he makes a few jokes about how Michonne looks like Tracy Chapman. I never noticed that until now, but it's pretty dead on. Yeah, I agree with that.
I never thought Tracy Chapman was attractive. But Michonne
she has the crazy dreads, yeah.
What?
She's got the crazy dreads like Michonne's got.
Well, who gives a shit? So does Bob Marley. I don't really want to make out with him, but Michonne's totally hot.
Yeah, fair enough.
God, Bill Simmons. I love him, but he's a dick sometimes.
Joseph V. says, maybe Merle was just acting like a zombie, a.k.a. or a la Bill Murray in Zombieland. Then again, it ended badly for Bill, too. Spoiler. Way to commit to eating those intestines. Yeah, did you see the way he was like rolling those around in his mouth?
I'm telling you, Michael Rooker gives really good Zed.
Yeah, he does.
Everything, just the way he kind of like the vacant expression on his face. That's how, like, he didn't play like pissed off and all that. He played a goddamn good zombie.
I don't know. Joseph Fee disagrees because he said, in reality, I thought he showed a little too much emotion on his face for being a zombie.
Really?
And then said maybe they were trying to play off the warm body scenario.
Nah, I think that was a very good job of projection. Like I was talking about how
Yeah.
The way Daryl treated Merle, we kind of read the emotion in there. But I thought Rooker did a fantastic job.
Same as with Amy. I mean, when she died in season 1, it was very similar in that way. We were all kind of waiting. Will she have some emotion on her face? And a lot of people were reading into it.
Yes.
Where I think she did a hell of a job.
Yep. And that was one of the standout scenes with Andrea and Lori Holden.
Levi Jeans writes in, Glenn just sealed the deal. Maggie is zombie food. And he says he bent his liver against Aaron's.
I think my liver's got a better shot than yours there, Levi. But I don't know. Levi's got a battle-hardened liver.
He does.
Those buddies. If you don't know, Levi's one of the buddies of the Personal Arrogance crew, and they can drink, man.
Yeah, they can.
Safe and responsibly.
A few months ago.
Safe and responsibly, to be sure. But they can fucking put the stuff down.
Definitely. Jackie from Vancouver says, I prefer nearly any type of engagement ring, something made of string, a large metal washer, a nice twist tie perhaps, rather than someone cutting off the first corpse they saw. The corpse...
It wasn't the first. It was like the third.
The corpse was a dead woman who someone somewhere loved and wanted to be with forever, but before she turned into a walking cadaver. Better yet, no ring, because why would you need a ring in this situation? Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, a woman sent that feedback?
Yeah, Jackie from Vancouver.
Wow.
Unless it's like Jackie Robinson or something. I don't know. Maybe it's a dude with the name Jackie.
It's an ambiguous name.
Could be. Amanda D. Not ambiguous at all. If the point hasn't been made yet, I wanted to mention that at the end of Season 1, Daryl told Rick, only Merle can kill Merle. Well, it looks like he was right. Excited for the season finale, trying not to lose my head over it.
Nice.
Scott writes in, and this is a little longer, not our longest one. Something that's been driving him nuts is that Aaron keeps mentioning that his liver is on DEFCON 5. That is the lowest DEFCON of the 5 levels. DEFCON 1 is nuclear war is imminent. DEFCON 5 is normal readiness. Oh,
really? I knew that.
I just didn't want to call you on it because I call you on other stuff.
No, it's the thing. Like, I've got this like weird ass dyslexia where sometimes I mess shit up and get things opposite, and it gets into my head to where like I overthink it and I don't even know which one is right anymore.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thing. Mispronouncing things and flipping things is my thing. So,
all right.
Sorry.
It's a good thing to have when you do podcasts once a week.
Yeah, I know, right? And you're just recording all this dumbassery for future posterity.
Yeah, no kidding. Show your kids this one day. See, Daddy's a dumbass.
Yeah, there's a reason why I broadcast with a pseudonym. I do not want anyone that I work with knowing what an idiot I am. Any potential future employers, etc.
We have one vote here from Scott, who says that he says keep up the podcast and thank you for not playing the trailer for next week's episode during the spoiler section. He thought it was pointless as well. He said, I would like to see you guys maybe do a recap of the trailer, though, kind of like you do with the show. And that was initially the idea that I had when we cut it off. I was like, well, if we're not going to play it, which is totally ineffective, why don't we cover it? And we're thinking about it. We'll probably come back with that next season.
I could get behind that. And honestly, some of it's time. If I had more time, I would like to do that and bring also some analysis of the bonus content they have on AMC, because I always have like a minute or 2 minute clip on these things of a preview. But honestly, it's like we're barely our mode that we're going to be in for the next couple weeks or for the next couple months is that we're barely going to have time to get feedback by the time and everything organized by the time we hit record. So we're at the limits of expansion of our coverage at the moment.
Yeah, until...
Working on it, though.
For at least the next 3 months or so.
Yeah.
Brandon writes in, I don't think it's Milton who burned the pits. Check out this picture, and he sent a couple screenshots, which I'll describe in a second, from the episode Clear with Morgan. And he showed a couple of screenshots, one of which was Morgan's pile of burned walkers and a gas can next to it. That looks an awful lot like the gas can we saw in that episode. And then a picture of him clearing walkers off of his spike traps with the same black gloves that we saw on the person who burned the walker pits.
Mm.
So, interesting. Some pretty strong evidence there that it's maybe Morgan.
Interesting also because it makes Poindexter's half-assed, passive-aggressive defense of his actions even more questionable. I mean, I got to ask him the same question I asked Saddam Hussein. Like, why the fuck, if you didn't do something, are you letting people blame you for it? And I guess, you know, and you don't have the posturing of against your foe Iran to justify it. So what the hell? But I could see that. I could that'd be exciting to have Morgan thrown into this last battle mix.
Yeah, I wonder where they'd go with that. I don't know. We'll see. Tom P. says, okay, so on to the new stuff. This episode, I think, was one of the best of the second half of the season. I, for one, think they do a much better job when they concentrate on 1 or 2 stories instead of 4 or 5, which I agree with. If they would have included the torture storyline, this episode would have sucked. Glenn decided to sign a death warrant. Everybody thinks that this ring is Maggie's death warrant. Or either his or Maggie's. They've got to destroy them now.
Okay.
I think they may give us half a season before they totally dash this thing to the ground. He says, I think they'll have their wedding, or maybe it gets interrupted by the army of arthritic asthmatics. Hard to say.
Right.
He's talking about those walkers, right?
No, he's talking about the boy that's got asthma and the
old lady with arthritis.
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, I'm a dumbass. Merle is by far the best-looking walker yet. His eyes were just haunting.
Yes.
Zombie kill of the week by his brother. Part of me is going to miss Merle. I hated him, but I love to hate him. Yeah, that's how pretty much everybody felt about Merle. They loved the things that the character was able to do to the story, but the character itself was despicable. Sully in Boston says, The Walking Dead's writer's room is less thoughtful than a zombie tailgate outside a Roadhouse bar. To compensate, Merle threw his body on the bullshit Michonne trade plot grenade. Suddenly, Merle's a sweetheart deep down but self-destructive. I give the writers some kudos, as it was 1,000 to 1 that Michonne would talk rather than glare her way out of being taken hostage.
Right.
Harsh words from Sully. Harsh words. Sorry, Sully, I don't have a Donald Trump voice, but he wants Glenn Mazzara to be fired again. Graham H. says, if they want to make a season finale have as much impact as issue 48 made, I don't know what issue 48 is, and this might be spoilery. Let me read ahead a little bit here.
He's referring to the climax of the prison arc, so yeah.
Yeah,
better tread carefully.
A guy who calls himself Officer Friendly writes in and says, this was a great episode, an 8.5. The directing was good, and Michael Rooker's performance throughout was amazing. This episode was all about Merle's redemption towards the whole group at the prison. I think this was the only way you could kill Merle and make a hero at the same time. He is the dark knight of the prison. You need a good guy to do dirty work, and that was Merle. And then going along with, I mean, we've kind of already talked about this stuff, but I'll just read his points. You can also tell that Merle only cares about his brother Daryl. He was doing what had to be done to save his brother's life. He was only in the prison because Daryl was there, and he was in Woodbury just because he thought his brother was dead. He never actually picked sides.
Did he just say that Merle's not the racist shitbag the prison deserves? He's the racist shitbag that the prison needs?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And he said it in a Batman voice, too.
Yes.
Dave M., and this is a long one, but it's our second to last one here. Doubt I'm getting this feedback to you in time. You are. Super stoked for whatever megawatt spoilers we have. Sorry, this time we don't have any for the finale.
They kept the clamps on this episode. They didn't even the last 2 episodes. They did not even release to professional reviewers. No screeners.
Wow, no, I didn't even know that. He says the sorrowful life as the season draws ever closer to the end. I got to say this tension is definitely amping up. But to be honest, it feels like an effort to recover a floundering near fumble at the 10-yard line. At this point, it seems almost nonsensical to really think about the comic/source material at all. Where at first we were praising season 3's remixing of characters and story arcs, as the second half plays out, it feels like Skrillex got a hold of the tracks before they were released and were literally shat non-talent fuck up juice all over them. Really, really, dude. Oh, that's hilarious. I don't agree, however, but still funny.
Honestly, Yes, I think that we used to praise it, but now it feels like some of this change is just for change's sake. And yeah, you've kept the comic book readers on our toes. Congratulations, assholes. That's 100,000 max of the audience. There's 10 million people watching this. They're thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think the last half of season 3 has been that bad. I mean, certainly some of the plot elements they set up at the beginning have played out in weird ways.
If you're saying that season 3.5 has not been uneven at best. Yes, the
plotting has been uneven, but I think the episodes have been pretty good quality. I mean, how many of these have we rated an 8 or higher? A lot of them.
Much more than I. I'm thinking they're batting 50% at, above average episodes.
I don't know about that.
It feels like in these 8 episodes, there's been 4 bad ones, 4 good ones. I can think but you like last week, so that might be 5 out of 8 for you. It feels very like I know I liked. I'm not going to go through them all, but I really hated the first 2 episodes. I liked Clear. I liked this episode. I kind of liked the one where they were kind of negotiating with the governor. Yeah, it might even be as low as 3 out of 8 so far for me.
Well, you're just a negative Nancy. Anyway, that's a really long email. We don't have a ton of time, so I got to move on to a pretty serious email from Nick M. from Illinois. He says, "Hey guys, this episode was really bittersweet for me. I just recently lost my dad since the last time you read my emails the last few weeks, and seeing what Daryl had to do at the end of this episode really struck me. I know how emotional it is and what Daryl is going through. I've had a whirlwind week, and listening to your podcasts are great and keep me busy and my mind on the fun things in life. Really can't wait for the season finale. Keep up the great work, and thanks for the funny and entertaining podcasts." Yeah, I'm glad that we could provide even just a little bit of joy to someone's life when they're in a situation like that,
Yeah, totally, Nick. I mean, I'm at the age where the death of my parents is starting to become a real thing.
Yeah,
and
me too.
It's uncomfortable even to think about. So my heart goes out to you, man. I feel terrible.
All right, that's it for emails. We're done. Want to do some outro stuff?
Yes, if you'd like to give us even more feedback, you can do so at walkingdead@baldmove.com. You can like me on facebook.com/baldmove, and more often than not, I do a live Facebooking of the episode. I will definitely be doing that this Sunday. Jim tries to do the live Twitter thing @baldmove, and also
He does it.
He does it. And that's an outro. Do we have spoiler stuff for this week to consider?
All right, we do have a little bit of spoiler stuff. So
okay,
for everybody who wants spoilers, we'll see you after the music. And for everybody else, until next time, till the season finale, I'm Jim.
And I'm Aaron. See you next week.
And we're back with the spoiler section. We don't have the intro to read. I'm going to have to come up with a new way to get into this because I'm so used to saying, go ahead and roll the thing, and then you just hit the button. It's not working anymore, man.
No, it is not.
You messed up my flow. We have some emails from a couple of listeners and some that I pulled into spoilers. Pulled like half of their email into spoilers. First off, it is Jake from Tallahassee. Says, the finale preview shows the group packing up, possibly leaving before the governor arrives. This can mean no war and no Andrea resolution. How would you feel about this turn? For me, it would explain why Mazzara was canned.
Yeah.
Holy shit. If they do that, everybody wants this war, and they can't just leave Andrea.
No. Honestly, that would be tough pill to swallow. And also, the only thing worse would be is if they keep Woodbury around as like some kind of fucking Cylon force following the Battlestar Rickica, and I don't
have to
want
leave
any
town
part of
every
that.
33 minutes.
I didn't like Battlestar when it was Battlestar. I do not. You have to leave that. Oh my god, I couldn't even steamroll that. No, I don't want any part. I don't want any part of that.
Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, I'm with you, man. They've set up this war that now needs to happen. I want to see the war.
I will say if they blatantly showed that in the previews, they're probably rope-a-doping us, and we are going to. But man, they only got 45 minutes to resolve all this shit.
They've got to probably get them out of the prison, have a war or not have it, and deal with the torture of Andrea, right?
That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously they can end. The only thing that can save them is they don't need a real resolution. They could literally end the episode like with the prison and smoking ruins, and we don't need, and like kind of like they did where like Rick is fleeing with Carl and everybody's kind of pell-mell. That's how the comic ended. Like it took a few issues for everyone to reconnect and figure out who lived and who died. And that would actually kind of be an interesting couple episode arc for next season. So I'm not pushing the panic button yet.
Do you think it would be interesting in a way, like maybe the way being how dark it is, to just leave Andrea in the hands of the governor?
That would not. I don't know. I mean, I don't really care much.
They're not going to show anything crazy happening to her. They might imply stuff, but I think Andrea a bigger implication could be just leaving her there.
Andrea's a disposable character to me.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, sure.
I don't hate her into where she couldn't come back and be, I don't be awesome later. I mean, I hated her. My peak of my white hot Andrea hatred is when she shot Daryl.
Yeah.
So she's still salvageable, but also I don't care. They could leave her there, and I just wouldn't care.
Okay. Scott writes,
Can you imagine how savage her face will look when she's being tortured?
Oh, God. Yeah, it's going to be horrific.
Oh, God.
Let's just hope she doesn't get zombified.
Oh. That's like a savage face re-warmed over in a microwave.
Refried savage. Scott writes in, I really am hoping season 4 starts off with a storyline from the comics where Rick and Carl are on their own in the house. Would be great to see some more character development of Carl as he takes care of his dad.
Yes, God, yes. That's my favorite plot line in all of Walking Dead. It's the one that made me feel the most. Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Yeah, I never got to that one. He says, also, I know we all love Daryl, but I do hope that he eats it along with Merle so they can get the show more in line with the comics. Bring in Abraham in season 4, bring back Morgan, and let's get the group into Alexandria's safe zone by mid-season 4 to keep up the fast pace set in season 3. What do you think about that?
I think my personal take on it is that Alexandria is going to be end of season 4 at the earliest, like that they'll discover it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that would be a second half plot line because there's not a whole lot of stuff that happens between. If God help me, if Poindexter lives and he takes on the role of Eugene, they could get a couple episodes out of that, a couple episodes out of the group reforming, Rick and Carl going off into the house, and Carl trying to fend for himself while he thinks his dad is going zombified. But then, yeah, it's going to they got the Hunter sequence, which is going to be pretty awesome. That could be another 2 or 3 episode arc. Maybe it would be. And now that I think about it, the timing would work out. Which means they've only got about another season and a half of comic book material.
Yeah, that's the real problem that they're going to run up against pretty soon.
Yeah, like when they go beyond that event horizon, I wonder how they'll take it.
Yeah, well, they'll get them back on the farm. That'll slow everything down.
Yeah.
Ryan, our last email, Ryan in SLC has a spoilerish prediction. He's not actually basing this on any spoiler information, but it contains spoilers. He says, Tyrese is being set up to play the role that the character Lily plays in the comic book as the one who kills the governor. Even though he's already conflicted about whether or not he should be supporting the governor, Tyrese will get caught up in the momentum to go to war against Rick's group, partially because of the killing of Ben last week by a member of the prison group. However, in the midst of the battle, Tyrese will become aware that he's fighting on the wrong side when, among other things, he witnesses the governor murder Beth and little ass kicker mercilessly. A lot of people predicting that Beth is going to take place with Lori. Tyrese then kills the governor and saves the day, thus paving the way for him to become a trusted member of Rick's group. What do you think?
I think that's actually pretty strong, and I think that if they're going to go with a comic book style ending, that Beth and Judith have to die. And that would explain why they've very conspicuously made Beth the caretaker.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of a neat trick to have Carl kind of liking her, because then it's an emotional whammy for it's instead of it being a devastation for Rick, it's going to be more of a, and a further making him a colder, more merciless killing machine.
How much more can that kid take?
Don't know.
Killed his own mom. That's rough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all we got.
All right. I'm about to drop the mic Chris Rock style.
All right. Cool. Well, thanks everybody for listening. See you next time.
Yep. Bye.